Hello everyone, this is part 6 of What If Naruto Loses Control, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Naruto just stood there with his back to Sasuke like he was going to ignore the threat to rip out his eyes. And when Sasuke decided that Naruto wasn't even going to try and defend himself with words is when the blonde started laughing maniacally. What's so damn funny, huh? Still laughing, Naruto turns around to look Sasuke in the eye, Sharingan to Sharingan. They each glare daggers at each other. You are, Sasuke. You know I've heard all sorts of threats in my days, and taken many beatings over the years. But none as vicious as when the last time I was here. Naruto takes 2 steps towards Sasuke, and Sasuke, not backing down from the challenge, takes 2 steps forward as well. I used to love going exploring, seeing everything there was to see in the village, and getting chased away by everyone who didn't want me around. Then putting up his claws flexed out with his arms slightly bent at the elbows made a sinister-looking shadow of Naruto dance on the walls behind him from the firelight. And the second time I was caught here, your Uchiha clansmen beat me in a circle, used kunai on me, and one even tried crushing my skull on the ground with his foot. They beat me within an inch of my life. And in the hospital, you know what I learned? That my right eye had been crushed and was going to have to be removed. Well, after the surgery I learned that even after my eyes are taken out, my body will heal anything. And as you can see here, Sasuke, I have 2 eyes. And if a group of Uchiha couldn't take me out, then a little kid like you doesn't scare me. Sasuke takes another step and a half toward Naruto, clenching his fists so tight that his knuckles pop. So do you get it, Sasuke? Even if you rip out my eyes, they will only grow back. Of course, that is if you're strong enough. And judging by how easily you were beaten by that one Uchiha, I'm guessing you're not very. What was his name again? Oh yeah, Itachi. And that was it. Naruto said the one thing that would make Sasuke go into a rage. And with a roar, Sasuke came for Naruto in a blur. Bending his knees and smiling at the coming attack, Naruto keeps his arms out wide like he was welcoming the coming onslaught. And then they clashed, fist to fist and foot to foot. Sasuke came in with a right hook, which was blocked by Naruto when he twisted his body and blocked the punch with a knife hand strike to Sasuke's wrist. Then Naruto sent a roundhouse kick to Sasuke's head, but the dark-haired teen just had to lift his arm beside his head to block. Sasuke's counter-attack was to send a punch to Naruto's gut, who blocked that to the side with an low inside-outside block and brought up his other arm into a high block to send Sasuke's ridge hand strike away from his throat. Naruto follows the momentum of his block and spins a back hand strike at Sasuke's cheekbone. Sasuke blocks and is forced to block 3 more back fists as Naruto uses his hips to twist back and forth in quick succession. To anyone else's eyes, their fight would have seemed like a lightning-fast choreographed dance more than a brawl. But to both of their eyes, the exchange of attacks was happening in a strange slow motion but still in real time. Both saw the before images of the attacks meant for them and are able to defend just in time. Just like now, after blocking Naruto's last back fist, he can see the blonde's next move was to lean forward and send a back kick into his gut. Then Sasuke notices something in that moment, that even though he can see the attack before it happens, he wasn't physically fast enough to go faster than some attacks. And as he moves his arms to intercept, he only has enough time to cross his arms and take the full strength kick. Sasuke is hit so hard that he is sent back to the wall behind him, and in the air he flips backwards to land his feet on the wall and push off in time to jump over Naruto's slashing claws, sending a kick at Naruto's head. Naruto continues his momentum and blocks under the kick with a high block and continues forward to use the wall like a springboard to follow Sasuke. Sasuke had made it to the other wall and jumped back to meet Naruto mid-air with a kunai held in front. They clash and sparks send a flash of blue and white light through the room. Their momentum is so strong that they continue jumping from wall to wall and floor to ceiling, deadlocked and unable to get the better of each other, making their exchanges flash sparks of the blue-white light flashing like a mad photographer was trying to catch the fight. Eventually their strikes knife to knife had taken their toll on the blades, and in one last blast of light both knives shatter. Both teens land their feet on their walls, and both look back at the other with glares and spring forward to clash again. Mid-air, Naruto sends claws in an arcing forward slash which Sasuke twists out of the way of like an acrobat. Then grabbing a hold of Naruto's arm and continuing his twist, he throws Naruto over his shoulder back towards the entrance to the room. Naruto sees his flight would send him crashing to the floor, and instead tucks his shoulder just in time as he hits the ground with a roll that brings him back to his feet. Naruto twists on the balls of his feet in time to see Sasuke land right in front of him on his hands, body pulled in a tight ball. With his Sharingan, Naruto notices the same as Sasuke had earlier, that even though he can see an attack coming, he wasn't always going to be fast enough to stop it. And like Sasuke, Naruto has enough time to cross his arms as Sasuke continues his movement from his forward flip, landing on his hands to send both feet slamming into Naruto when he straightens his body like a professional diver. The impact was enough to send Naruto flying backwards up the stairs into the top floor of the Uchiha meeting ground. Landing in a crouch with one knee bent down, Naruto looks up and smiles as Sasuke flies up out of the hole in the ground and continues his attack with a roundhouse to the spot Naruto's head occupied a millisecond earlier. They continue fighting, and their Sharingan continues to match each attack. Every now and then they would land a punch, only to allow an opening for the other to hit them right back. Naruto's nose was bleeding on the dusty white mats, and Sasuke's face had 3 claw marks on his cheek that were bleeding too. After the last exchange, Naruto punched Sasuke in the solar plexus hard enough for the force to arch his back and send his breath out in a rush. Naruto, taking opportunity of Sasuke's momentary loss of defense, grabs a hold of his wrist and shoulder and twists to lift Sasuke off the ground and spin him. He spins him once, taking a step, then twice, taking another step, and by the third spin, when Sasuke was feeling his breath come back, Naruto put even more strength behind his throw to send Sasuke headfirst into the front wall of the house. Outside the building, Sasuke's head suddenly busts through, sticking out the wall with his eyes clenched shut from the pain. Naruto, not wasting any time, continues the spin he was in when he threw Sasuke into the wall to step spin, putting himself right behind Sasuke's butt. Naruto lifts his knee to his chest with a smile and stomp kicks Sasuke so hard he bursts through the wall, falling into the streets outside. Slowly blinking past the pain, Sasuke pushes pieces of wood off his body and stands up, feeling the bones in his tailbone creak and pop. He turns to see Naruto walk out the door and goes down the steps heavily. "You know, Sasuke, I have to thank you. I can't remember the last time I had a fight this good. These Sharingan, I only ever dreamed of the power they would awaken. It's almost too easy smacking you around." "Shut up." Naruto had succeeded in making Sasuke mad, and bending his knees again, Naruto opens his claws with his arms wide and snarling a challenge. But Naruto's eyes begin to vibrate with a slight "Vween" when he watches Sasuke stand with his feet shoulder length facing him as his hands come together into hand signs. Naruto could feel, subconsciously, that his Sharingan was recording the jutsu in the back of his mind. It was like being aware of a small dark box in a void, and all he could see in that void was Sasuke's hands. But before Sasuke can finish, his jutsu alarms start going off inside Naruto's brain when his Sharingan told him he was facing down the beginning of the Grand Fireball Jutsu. Because Naruto had read the Fire Jutsu book earlier in the library, he already knew the technique, but now the Sharingan had a chance to properly record its chakra usage. "I guess I should have read that book on water jutsu." And as Sasuke raises his hand to his mouth, he watches Naruto rapidly go through hand signs. "It's too late, die." Blowing his condensed chakra out of his lungs, he uses his jutsu to compress the fire nature chakra again between his fingers, making the flames erupt forwards like they came out a flamethrower from the turret of a tank. And Naruto has milliseconds left as he finishes his hand sign to witness the fire coming right for him expand into a ball the size of a carriage. Sasuke can't see anything past the giant ball of flame, but he can feel the pressure of contact against his jutsu. "I got him." He stops blowing and watches the ball of fire fly back to the wall connected to the main entrance of the Uchiha district. When it makes contact, the blast of energy pushes against the flat surface until all that's left of the fire is the black smoke of the burnt plaster rising up. And in the middle of the blackened spot on the wall where Sasuke was looking, even more smoke rose from the blackened and charred remains of a log of wood. Hearing a sound from behind him, Sasuke pivots fast to find Naruto sitting on a pile of old firewood, staring up into the sky, lightly whistling like he didn't have a care in the world. "He used the substitution jutsu against me. Jumping up off the pile of wood and walking back into the middle of the street, Naruto turns and sends a half-smile glare at Sasuke. Wow, that was intense. If you had really hit me, then there is a chance you could have killed me. Here, let me return the favor. At hearing that, Sasuke's eyes go wide with shock, and he watches in denial as Naruto goes through the hand signs for his favorite jutsu. Leaning back, Naruto raises his hand to his face and blows. But what comes out is a fireball like a tidal wave from a tsunami. Naruto had poured way too much chakra into the blast, and after the ball is shot forward, Sasuke jumps out of the way to land on a rooftop, watching a fireball blast through the wall he just hit, leaving broken concrete smoking behind. Like Kakashi-sensei had warned me about Naruto during one of our training lessons, Naruto's chakra is stronger than mine. I remember Kakashi saying that the ninja world was in for a surprise the day Naruto learned to properly harness his power. Now with the Sharingan he can copy my best jutsu and make it even stronger than before, since Naruto has chakra to burn. Naruto knew that his technique was powerful, but he also knew that Sasuke was fast enough to dodge it. So looking around, he found Sasuke almost immediately staring at him from the rooftops. And before doing anything else, Naruto had to cough out a bit of smoke from his slightly burned throat from too much chakra. Sasuke jumps into the air after making eye contact with Naruto, and spins, sending shuriken at the dirty blonde. Naruto pulls out 2 kunai in each hand with a spin on each finger before twisting his hips and moving his arms to intercept each shuriken. Then when Sasuke's jump was almost at an end, he sends kunai flying next. And Naruto notices too late that some of them were wrapped in exploding notes. 2 fireballs erupt beside Naruto, making him close his eyes in the light and send a loud ringing in his ears. But realization dawns on Naruto that Sasuke had just defused his Sharingan and that he was vulnerable. But before Naruto can pry his eyes open, he feels something sharp pierce his stomach, and a quickly spreading wet warmth made the front of his jacket heavy. Looking past the bright spots in his vision, Naruto looks down to see the kunai in his gut being pushed there by Sasuke with a bloodthirsty grin on his face. And just like in moments like these, Naruto felt rage. A rage that was building higher and higher, that coupled with his survival instinct. At heart, Kurama Naruto was still a fox, and you do not want to mess with a fox when you've cornered him. Concentrating through the pain and fear of losing, he tried to pull at the power he felt burst forth like it did from his rage back on the bridge in Wave Country. He felt his anger grow and his concentration focused past the tip of the knife to the spot in his gut he now knew his well of chakra was stored. And he felt nothing. In his shock and pain, he grabs Sasuke's arms and leans back to throw him over his head like a toy flung by a mad child. Sasuke flips and lands safely, still holding the bloody kunai in his hand. Naruto's mind races. I don't fucking get it. What is different than before? I feel my rage as strong, no, stronger than before. Not to mention that I know, since my instincts are screaming to me that Sasuke is trying to kill me. What am I doing wrong? Where is my fox demon chakra when I need it? Concentrating once more on his chakra, his mind focuses to the spot behind that tightly wound core of his chakra network just behind his navel. But all he feels is the same mix of chakra as always. I thought the danger of fighting for my life was the key. I thought the rage I felt at losing my chance to steal the Sharingan when I thought Sasuke was dead was going to tap into my power. But I'm still missing something. My mind and spirit have always been attached to my chakra. Hell, I'm supposed to be made of chakra. But even now, I am cut off. I could be in trouble. Naruto's concentration on his chakra had increased his chakra levels, and with his hand over his wound he could feel the higher levels of power begin to heal him. Sasuke, while staring Naruto down, could feel and see him raise his chakra levels. And thinking Naruto was preparing a jutsu, Sasuke begins to mold more chakra too. Alright, what's the plan then? I can't kill Sasuke now. After those fireballs, it's not going to take the pursuit squads long to rush this area and take me down. If they come to find their precious, last Uchiha, dead, then even if the Hokage ordered against it, I would probably be killed. And Sasuke won't stop attacking me until I have defeated him or we are broken apart by the Anbu. I know, I'll beat Sasuke, and use the Sharingan to enter his mind and steal any more secrets he might know about these eyes. After pumping even more chakra into his wound, he could feel the skin stitch itself up faster than before. And in under 2 minutes he almost completely healed the gash in his stomach. And as Naruto prepares the rest of his built-up chakra for another jutsu, neither he or Sasuke noticed that the scratches on Sasuke's face and arms had all but healed as well. Well, Sasuke, I have to say I'm impressed. I always wanted to fight you like this, especially when Kakashi wouldn't allow it. You have even managed to wound me, and you showed me how to properly perform that fireball jutsu. So I owe not one but two, let me make it up to you. Sasuke watches intently, copying every hand sign Naruto makes as he goes through signs of an unknown jutsu. He knows he should move out of the line of sight, but he can see with his eyes that Naruto was about to perform a fire jutsu he has never seen before. Finishing his hand signs, Naruto puts one hand in front of him as he steps back with his right leg, bending his knees in a fighting stance and slowly pulling his right hand around to his back hip. Sasuke was staring at Naruto, but because of the angle he couldn't see Naruto's hand seemed to catch fire with the brightest and hottest spot in his palm. To Sasuke's eyes, Naruto is standing with an intense light right behind him that was so bright it made his body seem to be in shadow. It reminded Sasuke of looking at the flag of the rising sun. Then Sasuke knew what technique he just copied was called when Naruto yelled out with an echo in his voice, "Fire Blade Jutsu." And then all the light concentrated into a beam of solid fire that was erupting between Naruto's grip. Then, like swinging a sword, Naruto twists his hips into a sideways cut, but as he swings the sword it grows quickly in length. In fact, to Sasuke's Sharingan it looked like Naruto's fire sword was cutting into and through the house next to him. And according to his Sharingan, Sasuke could see that the path of Naruto's cut from over 50 feet away would pass right through his torso. And like reality was answering his question, the blade of fire cuts completely through the house, setting it on fire, and continues its path to Sasuke, growing even further until it was burning buildings behind him too. Again, thanks to the Sharingan, all this seemed to happen slowly. But in reality Sasuke had less than a second after Naruto's fire blade started to slice a house in half and was coming to slice him half to jump, spin up and over it. Landing on his feet, Sasuke was about to say some witty retort, but the blade of fire wasn't out yet and it was coming back for him. This time he had to lean back like a champion limbo artist, feeling the heat of the blade pass by. It singed a couple of his hairs. Watching the blade carefully this time as he stands, Sasuke relaxes a bit when the blade fades out. Looking back at Naruto, Sasuke decides to be careful when he tries out the fire blade jutsu since Naruto's hand was smoking like he was badly burnt. Sasuke walks a few feet back to the left so that he stands in the middle of the street in front of Naruto to stare him down again. The scenery had changed since 3 buildings had caught fire and 2 were now leaning over since Naruto had cut them in half. It's a shame, I can tell by looking at it that if I used that technique it would probably cut my chakra in half. Sasuke was reaching up to rub his shoulders like they were stiff while sending a cocky sneer at Naruto. And Naruto had finished catching his breath, and finishing his last deep breath out with a growl he flexes his right hand after it stops smoking. My hand hurts like hell, I'm not looking to give this human trash the satisfaction of knowing that though. Though I have to say, not bad for my first try, once I'm better with this jutsu I could cut down enemies instantly. Sasuke noticed that Naruto was waiting for him to make a move. Sasuke calls out, "Hey Naruto. You're right, you owed me and I will take that jutsu for myself. And now nah. Naruto, I found you." Before Sasuke could finish his taunt, Sakura appeared out of nowhere yelling while standing up on the edge of a non-burning roof looking down on the street with the 2 boys looking up at her. Sasuke was looking at her, no he was staring. What is she wearing? Sakura had left immediately after discovering the Sharingan in her eyes. So she was still dressed in her ripped skirt hanging on her belt with her midriff showing while she just wore her sports bra. She had jumped out of her roof balcony in such a rage that she wasn't really thinking on what she was doing, all she knew was she was going to hunt Naruto down. She wanted answers. So she ran all throughout the village. She was followed by a few search parties but they left her alone after she said she was looking for Naruto and how angry she was. She was standing there looking sweaty and a little dirty with her pink hair wild and in spikes from her perspiration. And Sasuke was enjoying the look of her, until the total package of her badass stance glared bright red from her angry-looking Sharingan. With 3 comma marks in each eye he noticed too. Sakura. Sasuke got her attention, then yells, "Shut up and get lost. This is none of your business." What did you just say? No, you shut up. You don't get to talk to me like that, you arrogant little prick. Somewhere in the distance the creaking of a squeaky window could be heard in the stunned silence. And Sakura will remember over and over again in perfect clarity the very comical expressions on both Naruto and Sasuke's face. Naruto's mouth was wide open and his right eye was half closed with his eyebrow drawn down, and the other side was the opposite with the eye wide open and eyebrow raised so high it disappeared under his long spiky hair. And Sasuke's mouth was just slightly open with his brow furrowed, squeezing his eyebrows together like he was confused. Both boys were astonished, and both were thinking that they never thought they would see the day that Sakura had a backbone. Naruto was the first to break the silence when he looked over at Sasuke and said, "Ooh, Sasuke. Looks like trouble in paradise, huh?" And then he starts laughing hysterically while pointing at Sasuke. Both Sakura and Sasuke take the same shoulder-width stance at the same time, clenching their right fists at Naruto and say at the exact same time, "Shut up." Naruto starts laughing even harder and says in between fits, "AAWW, you guys are finishing each other's sentences too. That's so cute." Sakura had enough. "Now you listen, Naruto, I've seen my eyes. I know now what that jutsu you used on us was. The evidence is before me in your eyes too. Since you have the Sharingan, and I have the Sharingan, then you stole these eyes from Sasuke, and when I tried to stop you I got them by accident. Isn't that true, Naruto?" Naruto leans on his right leg and folds his arms across his chest in defiance. "Well, if it's pretty obvious, then why do you need to ask me what happened? I want to know why you've done this. Why did you steal his eyes? Why are you determined to drive apart this team?" Sasuke looked down at Naruto. Inwardly he was planning his next attack and using the time to replenish some chakra. But he wanted to hear Naruto's answer too. He was looking at the two of them like he couldn't care less about what was happening. And again he noticed that both of them were honestly waiting to hear an answer from him. What the hell, again, isn't it obvious? I told you guys since day one what it was I wanted, power. When I graduated the academy, I was tricked by Mizuki to steal the secret scroll that is full of forbidden jutsu. You've seen my shadow clones, it was the first on the scroll, it's also where I learned the transparency jutsu. And my favorite of the bunch I copied was the one I used on Sasuke. I had to read it fast since I was being hunted by a Chunin, but I made sure I could use it when I could. And for a while I considered using it on a Hyuga, but those guys would probably have me killed. The Aburame were out of the question since bugs are for eating. The Akamiki would probably make me fat, and the Nara, well, their power is boring. But Sasuke, when I saw your Sharingan I wanted them more than I wanted anything." Naruto pauses just long enough to let that sink in, but thinking darkly, here is my chance to try out my lie, and if I'm right then my audience has fully arrived and is listening. I mean, come on Sasuke, you see how people treat you every day. You even got Sakura here following you around, concentrating on you rather than her ninja career. I walk the streets of this village and hear people talking about you, gossip mostly. And before just you, they would talk about the Uchiha. They talked about your family like you were royalty and better than everyone. That's why I broke in here when I was 6. I actually thought if I snuck into this place without getting caught some Uchiha would think I had potential and adopt me. Instead, I got a beating. And they threw a 6-year-old out on the pavement with a broken collarbone and jaw. And villagers cheered. Sasuke and Sakura were both staring with the glare still in place, but now they were listening intently. So that's the reason, I guess. The Sharingan can do so much, make so much so easy. And when I saw them in your eyes, Sasuke, back on that bridge, I decided to use the jutsu to copy them. And hell, I had no idea the jutsu was going to be that painful. It was supposed to just copy your DNA into mine. But instead, it seems like we shared chakra as well. Which is why you two are feeling so feisty, I bet. Looking at each other, a mutual thought passes through the minds of Sasuke and Sakura. They did notice things were different now after waking up in the hospital. They had healed faster than normal, and when they were hunting for Naruto they felt a predator intensity they never felt before. Hell, they were even instinctively searching through scents, and were feeling more charged than ever. And again, amazingly they were thinking the same thing. They had both ran in a complete sprint circling the village searching for Naruto. They had used chakra running up walls and increasing strength in their legs to jump farther. And on top of all that, Sasuke had been fighting Naruto and not feeling as tired as he should. And simultaneously Sasuke and Sakura think, why am I not tired? Normally I would be ready to drop by now. But I'm feeling strong, in fact I have energy to spare. Then Naruto continues, but seriously, I don't understand what you two have to complain about. Then Sasuke and Sakura both yell, what? Sakura yells, do you have any idea what you have done to me? You violated my body. Sasuke yells, the Sharingan is the prized power of my clan. Many have desired our power, but only elite ninja from my clan are permitted to our secrets and power. Naruto looks at them both and says, well Sakura, I honestly though you would be happy. I mean after all with the Sharingan you probably are on the top of Sasuke's breeding list. Sakura is so shocked that she stands there with her mouth wide open and her body goes rigid. Sasuke is angry again, oh Kami, Naruto I hate you, besides she doesn't have Uchiha blood so shut up. Sakura's face gets even more shocked and like the manga world teaches us, when you get as shocked as her you lose all color and turn into a crudely drawn character of a multitude of emotions. Then Naruto looks at Sasuke and says the words that make her snap, Evil you Sasuke, does that mean your clan were a bunch of cousin fuckers? Sasuke has a growing angry expression but a new distraction keeps him from attacking Naruto again. Sakura was screaming. And not just screaming, it was the loud shriek of a female roar. And Sakura in her rage pulses a strong red blast of chakra from her eyes that Sasuke and Naruto feel enter their eyes. And then the world changed. Almost like Sakura had sucked the color into herself, a blanket of black engulfed everything. It was like looking at a negative picture. Every defining feature was white, and every solid object was black. It reminded Sasuke of being back in his brother's Tsukuyomi, which made him stuck still in fear. Even Naruto was feeling a bit of concern. I thought the Sharingan was supposed to see through genjutsu, so what is this? Then Sakura opens her eyes which look demonic and pure white. And behind her a shadow grows and above Sakura with the words, Inner Sakura, glowing in white on her forehead. And before Naruto and Sasuke have a chance to say anything or try their genjutsu dispelling techniques, they see the giant black and white Sakura lean forward and bring two fists down on Sasuke and Naruto, heads. The hit felt like they both were struck by meteors, but instead in their minds they were thinking it looked like a vengeful god had struck down from the sky passing judgment. When the hands raise back up, the inner Sakura giant leans back to hover over the original, who was looking down in shock at what she just did instinctively. Naruto and Sasuke are both still lying in the genjutsu, feeling like the front of their bones had been flattened as they lay in the cracked ground. Naruto is the first to sit up and hold his nose, which had started to bleed and felt broken, and the back of his head throbbed. Her genjutsu is so strong that I'm actually bleeding. I can smell the real blood. Naruto lets go of his nose and looks up at Sakura with blood dripping down his teeth. You bitch. Then as Sakura's anger exploded on her face, the dark sky fills with violent lightning bolts and thunder rolls. And with mighty roar Sakura style she sends her colossal apparition rushing forward with its right fist drawn back ready to launch a downward hook punch right on Naruto's head with a loud, cha. Naruto just sat there as he was going through the mental exercises he read in the book on how to break genjutsu. Disrupting the flow of chakra to one's head and body, and if you're a genjutsu user, imagine yourself inside your mind shoving out the invading chakra like you're shoving someone away. So Naruto looks Sakura in the eyes and sends his mental shove straight into her Sharingan. And to Sakura's eyes, before she could bring the giant phantom fist down on Naruto's head, a vision of a see-through red Naruto made of chakra appeared in front of her. And the clone grinned a sinister pure white smile and took one aggressive step forward and sent a shove into her shoulders like Sakura just got hit by a bull. And as she felt the shove send her back a few steps, she felt the genjutsu get pulled apart with her. And to Naruto and Sasuke's eyes, the black and white world gets pulled back into thousands of little cuts, showing the real in color world just behind. And with every step back, Sakura pulls even more pieces back until the black lines all fade away. Then both Sasuke and Naruto look down to find they weren't sitting in a cracked crater the size of a giant's fists. Each of them had bloody noses from the pain they experienced from Sakura's mental attack. Getting up, Sasuke looks at Sakura as she holds a hand to her temple trying to clear her fuzzy head. Smirking at her, Sasuke says, well, I guess Kakashi was right when he said you were a strong genjutsu type, Sakura. But with the Sharingan you're an actual threat. Naruto sticks his finger on the side of his nose and quickly blows out a squirt of the leftover blood and says, "Yeah, see that, Sakura? Because of me you're not completely useless anymore." Fire returns to the girl's eyes and she clenches a fist at Naruto. "Oh yeah, you wanna see what other things I can imagine doing to you?" Naruto smirks. "You're not really my type, but it doesn't matter. Whether you two like it or not, I have the Sharingan now. So any genjutsu you send at me I can break, and any real attack you have for me I can strike back with all the strong jutsu I learned today. You two could have spent the day training like me, but instead you wasted your time running around trying to find me." Sasuke had enough. "Naruto, do you have any idea that what you have done here is a crime?" "Oh, shut up, both of you. You have no idea how difficult life is, and I have handed both of you golden eggs wrapped in silk while delivered on a fine-ass piece of silver. I don't know why a ninja could possibly be mad at gaining more power." Stopping to catch his breath for a second, Naruto just keeps his glare, and both Sakura and Sasuke thought they heard something in the pitch of his voice they have never heard before: emotion. "Sasuke." This got the dark-haired boy to lift his head up quickly to acknowledge he was listening. "I have given you the ultimate chance to develop your Sharingan. Not only today did you learn a powerful jutsu from just fighting with me, but you have the chance to learn how to fight against the Sharingan with 2 new sets. So you'll be stronger and be ready to face him." Sasuke's eyes widen at this, and he is forced to think on the positives of that angle of thought. Sakura, her pink head turns away from Sasuke to stare at Naruto. "I really thought that on our first real mission, you were going to die." This got a sweat drop response from Sakura, who started to growl, "Mostly because all I've ever seen you interested in was Sasuke. If you're interested in being a housewife, then get out of the ninja corps. But today, we discovered that there is a much deeper level to your character. I never once in a million years would have guessed that you would ever have it in you to yell at Sasuke like that. Your adoration of him does not limit your ability to speak your mind anymore. And not only that, but in one day after discovering your new Sharingan, you came up with a devastating power by instinct. Now I'm starting to think you may become a strong ninja after all. And if you want a little hint about guys from a guy, Sasuke hates fangirls. But if you want to be his lover, then I suggest you show him you're an exceptional ninja." Sakura thinks on this new information, and just barely fumes at the insults to her character. Sasuke is the first to break the silence. "Then tell me this, Naruto, if your goal all along wasn't to kill us and steal my eyes, then what is your ultimate goal with the Sharingan? Why is it so important, just like you said to me when I felt myself dying on the bridge? You said I was important." Naruto thinks on this new twist, knowing the angle he should take next. "Like I said, people revere you, Sasuke. They get out of your way on the street, give you free food, give you compliments even though they have no idea what you've really accomplished. Because you're a Uchiha, this village loves you." Naruto turns before continuing so that he could stare at the Hokage monument. "I have never been loved. I don't know what it is. I walk down the streets and people hit and yell at me. People have thrown feces at me, thrown knives, even refused to sell me food. This village wants me dead, and it has been that way since I was a baby. The Hokage had to order his people looking after me just to touch me." Sakura had started to tear up. Even Sasuke was feeling a lump rising in his throat. "I have only known respect from these people through my strength. Only my bite taught them to be careful how they treated me. And so I learned at a very young age that my path to power was my path to respect. No one will ever shove shit in my face or ambush me in a dark alley again. And when I had the power to copy your eyes, Sasuke, and realization dawned on me that I could have that power too. I still feel giddy at the thought of the awe and fear in eyes of these villagers when I will walk these streets minding my own business with my Sharingan active. They will see that the demon they all hate has an important piece of this village and shouldn't just be seen as an unfortunate piece of orphan trash that nobody wants." Sakura was full on crying now, not even trying to stop the continuous flow of tears falling down her cheeks. And Sasuke, looking down into the dirt at his feet, was thinking too on his own treatment in the village. And the memories he had about Naruto over the years. He had even seen and ultimately walked away from a circle of people stomping out Naruto on a street once. And before he can ask the question that popped into his mind, Sakura asked, "Naruto, why does the village hate you the way they do? I mean, we all remember the pranks over the years, Some of them pretty bad, but everyone had been reported as a reaction to someone attacking you. But it's more than that, they actually want to kill you, they hate you that much. Why Naruto, why? Looking up at her and seeing the look in Sasuke's eyes, Naruto decided it was time. I am the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox Demon Lord. This announcement gained a gasp from Sakura, and open clarity on Sasuke's face. To them it all made sense now. After everyone learned of the details of the defeat of the Nine-Tailed Fox, it became a part of village history. And Sakura could remember the day long ago in the academy when they opened their history textbooks about the fourth Hokage and his defeat of the Nine-Tailed Fox. She even remembered that day that Naruto had thrown his textbook at Mizuki when he told Naruto to shut up. And both Sasuke and Sakura had all the pieces of the Naruto riddle finally fall into place. It all made sense now. The red eyes with slits, the claws, the whisker marks, and the insane healing and poison immunity came together to make the powers of what another history lesson taught them is what happens to the tailed beasts when they are defeated and sealed away. They are sealed inside one unfortunate person, and that person is usually an outcast their whole lives. Sasuke takes a few steps forward until he is 10 feet away from Naruto, and even Sakura jumps down to stand next to him as they face Naruto together. Naruto, you have lived one hell of a violent life, you've been treated with violence and you respond in kind. It makes so much sense. Now what happens? Naruto looks confused. What do you mean now what? I mean now that I'm not interested in killing you, what happens next? You did destroy part of the Uchiha compound and you are a fugitive from the Anbu. It's not looking so good for you. Sakura falling back on old habits chimes in after Sasuke, that's right, they might try to kill you Naruto. What are you going to do? Naruto crosses his arms and raises one eyebrow in amazement at the turn of events. Well yeah, if you guys are willing to help me I should probably try to leave the village before they execute me. My plan has seemed to have backfired politically. The Hokage himself is after me and public outcry over me attacking the precious last Uchiha will probably sign my death warrant. So I guess I have to start running. No. Sasuke had interrupted with a gleam in his eye. If I'm going to allow you to keep those eyes then you're going to have to do good on your promises. You're going to use the power of those eyes so we all can get stronger. And especially me, I need to know every way to counter the Sharingan. So that when the time comes I can face my brother. Sakura had her eyes on Sasuke and was watching closely, her concern for him making her forget her annoyance at the things he said to her earlier. What happened to you Sasuke? Sasuke looks at her and says, you couldn't understand. And turns his back on her. Naruto with a bit of energy and happy mischief in his voice says, but I do, and I know how to show her. And with a flash of his Sharingan, the world around Sakura had turned to a red hologram world that showed the Uchiha district not destroyed but outlined with red burning looking chakra. Then she saw the people. People running in the streets and the sound of echoed screams like a degraded recording. Sounds of people screaming, and the sound of a blade slicing through the air just before it makes the hard wet sound of finding purchase in someone's flesh. Naruto through his genjutsu was showing her what he watched from the treetops far away the night of the Uchiha massacre. That's when Sakura had seen Sasuke's older brother crudely made out of red chakra murder their clan. And then she saw Sasuke, as a little boy she remembered from the first days at the academy running scarred for his life as his older brother comes out to taunt and hurt him with genjutsu. Sasuke had turned around to see what Naruto was talking about, and watched Sakura look around her and react as if she was in the middle of the massacre herself. And when the genjutsu memory was done Sasuke could see in her eyes when she turned to look into his, that she understood. The tears that fell from her eyes were of an amount of empathy Sakura didn't know she had the capability of. And in her new knowledge and understanding of Sasuke, she knew to say nothing. Just hold on to and support the bond all three of them shared with the knowledge of the death of the Uchiha. The death of the Uchiha, this got everyone's attention on Naruto again. The Uchiha were a powerful force that are a part of the history of the leaf. And here in this spot, they died out. But Sasuke doesn't fret about it anymore, right? Strength and determination return to Sasuke's eyes as he nods sharply. Whether you like it or not, there is a new birth to the Uchiha today. Now Sakura and I will help you carry that title and we will create a new future. He pauses for effect, together. At this Sakura takes 2 steps and grabs a hold of Sasuke's wrist and pulls him with her. Sakura. Let go. Then she walks up to a perplexed-looking Naruto with his torn and burnt clothes, pulling Sasuke's hand forward in between them all. Then she takes her other hand and puts it on top of Sasuke's and lets go with the other. If we're going to move forward to bring a new legacy to the Uchiha, then I can't do it fully since I am a Haruno, but together as Team Sharingan, we will be the things legends are made of. Hell, we could become more famous than the legendary Sannin. Naruto understands what Sakura is doing and steps forward. Hell, why not? Team Sharingan, and Naruto places his hand on top of hers. Sasuke pulls his hand out from under Sakura's and looks back at his two teammates with their Sharingan active. Yeah, Team Sharingan. And as if he was waiting for his cue, and Naruto knew that he was, the third Hokage walks around the corner with Kakashi at his side and over 10 squadrons of Anbu and ninja standing up from their hiding spots too. Naruto had presumed the Kage and Kakashi were here and waiting to see how things played out. After all, he could smell them all when the wind shifted. And now the teens were surrounded and had instinctively gone back to face the size of the force assembled. Well, Team Sharingan is it. The aging Kage came to a stop dressed in his ninja battle gear of the three teens. This whole problem has played out very interestingly, Naruto. Come here now. The blonde started and ignored the concerned looks the others were giving him as he walked up to the powerful old man. I told you that I would find you, didn't I? Do you know what it is I'm talking about? Naruto gives the Kage a look that said, I'm not a kid. Yes, I know I gained the knowledge of each of my clones. That knee of yours hurts, you know. It's almost all bone. Clever as always, Naruto, but your cleverness has put you in a dangerous position. After everything you have done in the last week have given light to some questions we have been asking among ourselves. And after everything that has happened up to my orders to capture or kill you, Naruto, the Kage steps forward to jab two fingers into his pectoral. You go around the village tying up librarians, and taking advantage of our archivist to perverted things in front of her peers. Naruto twists out of the poke and points a finger at the Hokage. Hey, in my defense, that librarian has hit me with a yardstick since I was 4, so she had it coming. And as for the girl, well, that was an image I pulled out of her mind. She always wanted to do it and all I did was remove her inhibitions. So there. Naruto, that's not much of a defense. Not only that, but you assaulted Sasuke over there and stole his eyes. I'm not going to be pressing charges on the matter, Hokage-sama. Sasuke's declaration had caused many of the ninja listening to gasp. And the Hokage raises his eyebrows and stares into Sasuke's eyes as Kakashi steps forward. Are you sure about that, Sasuke? You and Sakura almost died from the jutsu Naruto used on you all. Did you know that, Naruto? Then Kakashi walks quickly over to punch Naruto in the face. Did you hear me? You three almost died. I had to stop 3 times on the way back to the village to give each of you CPR and start your hearts with a lightning jutsu. Naruto just stared at the ground in a little shock that he and the others died a few times. And Sakura was the next to speak up, breaking the tense silence. Sasuke and I have forgiven Naruto. Yes, he was ambitious and used a jutsu to copy the Sharingan. But he has nothing but his strength. He thinks the stronger he gets, the more people will think him a human being. Everyone was staring at Sakura, including Naruto. We have decided to forget our former selves and concentrate on our ninja careers. I have never felt stronger in my life, Kakashi-sensei. What Naruto did was help make us a team to be reckoned with. Excuse me, Sakura. The Hokage puts up his hand to stop her. There is more that you three need to know that I think you haven't noticed yet. Naruto decided right now that everyone present loved drama to pause this much for effect. Then the Hokage continues, Naruto, do you know why the jutsu you used was so painful? It opens directly into the chakra network at its core, and mixes it. And not only that, DNA is exchanged in order for the Kekkei Genkai to transfer permanently. In the obvious case, you all got the DNA to receive the Sharingan. But Naruto, you didn't think about what you would be giving to Sasuke and Sakura. Naruto's eyes widen and his pupils shake as he looks at the other 2 members of his team. Oh no, I didn't. Since Naruto just told you two, Sasuke and Sakura, that he is a Jinchuriki. And as such his body has adapted to the monster living inside of him. And as we have observed, other than his physical traits that remind us of the fox, Naruto's chakra has been slowly mixing with the fox's since his birth. A chakra he has shared with you now. And as far as we can tell, you have no physical changes other than your muscles seem stronger since I last saw you. But as we discovered when you were in the hospital while we had your chakra system scanned, that the demon's chakra was present in both of you. So basically your chakra levels have been multiplied by 5 levels. Both Sasuke and Sakura had been a little surprised to hear from Naruto that he had a demon trapped inside him. But both were shaking a bit to hear that they now shared the demon chakra and that this was the reason they had felt so powerful today. The Hokage continues, we need to run some more tests to see if it's permanent, but according to the jutsu it probably is. And Naruto, the pain of that jutsu increased and increased, didn't it? The reason was simple, the bloodline thief jutsu cannot work unless the person you're trying to take it from gives it to you freely. Because Sasuke fought you, the technique would have killed you both. But instead when Sakura joined the mix, Sasuke must have decided to let go of the fight. You all came within a heart's beat of death. Sasuke and Sakura both walked forward to stand next to Naruto. Sakura was thinking about what adverse effects having this new chakra could have on her. And Sasuke was ecstatic, he had gained even more power than before and the chance to really work out his Sharingan. All 3 teens were standing together, presenting themselves as a unified front with Sharingan blazing at the Hokage. Taking the time to look at each of them, the Hokage looked like a warlord passing judgment on him, and then he says, well then, with Sasuke and Sakura's support I think we can overlook the suspicious behavior. Naruto, you have frightened me in a way I haven't been in a long time. You have reminded me of another ninja's ambitions, but after listening to you talk to the others I feel more confident than I have in years. And besides, I bet the village will be glad to gossip about more Sharingan in our midst. I hereby remake your squad as Team Sharingan. Each of them smile and look forward to challenges ahead, until Naruto heard the cage say, but you're still going to spend a week in jail, Naruto, for breaking and entering and unlawful use of genjutsu. And with that Naruto is escorted away with a group of Anbu yelling over his shoulder that, this is some bullshit. That will be all for this video, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos, goodbye.